Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a great day for us. It was pretty exciting for me to be able to win here at Dover, and especially the way we did it. It seems like we've lost more that way than people getting two on us, getting in front of us, and then we've won. So it really turned out good, and I was happy we were able to pull it off. So the race was really a struggle for us when the clouds were out, and before that rubber built up on the track. I thought we had one of the best cars on the track. We were pretty fast, and it seems like I think we drove to maybe third or fourth or something from 24th where we started, and it felt real good about things. And all of a sudden the sun came out and the rubber started building on the track, and our handling got way off. So Jimmy made some great adjustments today, made some great pit calls under green, short pitting a little bit, and getting us ahead of our competition. We were racing, it got us 5 or 6 spots, and that really got us in position to get the 2 tires at the end of the race.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions here in the Media Center. Please raise your hand, and we'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start with Dave Rodman. Please state your name and affiliation.
Hey, Matt, Dave Rodman with NASCAR.com. How difficult was it to get to Mark, and then how difficult was it to pass him once you got to him?
Well, it was difficult. The hardest thing today for me, besides that rubber building up under green, was they couldn't. I don't know if they couldn't or won't or how it worked, but they didn't really get the rubber off the track before a restart. And what would happen if you were stuck on the bottom and the leader took off? No matter where you restart, you get all that stuff on your tires, and you had to run through it for 2 laps, and it was so much slower. One time I restarted third, and I think we were back to 8th by the second lap because I couldn't get up, and Marcos had a bad restart and got us way back there. So I was really concerned about that because Mark took the top. I was really hoping he'd take the bottom because he really likes to run the bottom. I would have felt a little better about it, but I got behind him and was able to run up on him, and with the new tires and be able to get the gas down that early, we were able to get a pretty good run on him.
Questions from the Media Center?
Yeah, Richard Johnson with Fox News Radio. At the end there, did you have a bit of safety in numbers, not only you taking 2 tires, but a couple of others, and Mark staying out, forming a bit of a barrier against the others? Was that a factor?
Yeah, that definitely helps, and I think that was probably part of our thinking with 4 is, we were going to come out most likely behind the 3 guys or 4 guys we were running behind, and a few guys were going to sprinkle in there on 2, and that would have been tough to do in that many laps. So yeah, that always helps. It's always nice to have a little buffer because the other guys that got 2 were all running behind us, and I felt like we probably had a better car than most of the guys that got 2. If I could just get a clean restart. So yeah, that helped.
Do we have any questions from the press box?
Monty doesn't. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Man, I hear you good, Monty.
Well, that's probably a bad thing. However, Matt, I had noticed in days like this, track position is so important. But as you mentioned, you were strong earlier. I guess that I basically just noticed that you were very strong back in the pack early in the race. I didn't notice so much that you fall off earlier. But what I mean is, had you been able, was the whole key to your race basically the starting position, and it took you all day to get up there? I mean, should you by rights have been running up there with the guys who led 324 laps?
There was times at the race where I felt like we had one of the best cars, and then there was times where we were probably, Jimmy probably knows better than me on lap times, but a 7th to 14th or 15th place car. It seemed like for a while there we really fell back. So there was times in the race where we ran really good, and other times we didn't. And at the end, they were able to make some good adjustments to get it better there again at the end. So the Goodyear tires are great. We didn't have any failures or anything today, but the last couple of years, which we've talked to them about, when it builds this rubber up, it just makes it really hard to pass. And I knew that I knew one of the front 3 cars most likely on a restart was going to win the race because that rubber would build up, and it just made it a lot harder, almost impossible to pass. I thought, at least for me it was compared to early in the race. So the last few races here, you've seen that track position was pretty important at the end of the race.
Next question from the press box.
Yes, Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Can you hear me, Matt?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay,
I hear
great.
you too.
You were saying earlier that the call for 2 tires was not finalized until you were actually up on the jack. How close were you to the point of no return there in terms of 2 versus 4?
Well, Jimmy would be able to answer that one better because, we came in and I know we were both thinking about it at the same time. And in the back of my head, I was thinking, man, I should almost just drive by pit road and try to restart in front and see what happens. But I saw the guys in front of me. I looked in my mirror and I saw everybody on the apron, and I thought that it wasn't going to be good for me if I did that and restarted and finished about 15th. So we came down pit road, and as I slid in the stall, I just keyed the mic and said, Jimmy, you sure you don't want to try 2? And he didn't even hesitate. He's like, 2 tires, 2 tires. And in plenty of time before the guys took off, and they all heard the call, and it was no problem. It went smooth, almost like we planned it.
Next question from the press box.
Lee Spencer from Fox Sports. What kind of confidence do you have now with 2 victories, knowing that those wild card positions are out there in case you need them to make the chase?
Well, I got a question. How come you didn't ask me if I could hear you? I'm just kidding. It's everybody else up there asked me. I was just wondering. Lee just assumed I could hear. I mean, it's going to be important. You want to have the wins to have the wild card if you have to fall back on that. But I think Jimmy's goal and Jackson, mine, and the team's is to not worry about that. I think that's the last thing, at least on my mind right now. On my mind is to try to be up there and try to be leading them points going into the chase and try to make the chase and be in championship form and be able to put together some more wins and go out there and race for a championship. You know, we don't want to slide in off of wins if we're 18th in points or something. We want to go up there and race like this every week.